If you want to build real wealth, it's important to understand that there are no quick shortcuts or easy fixes. Success comes from thinking clearly about your money, putting in steady effort day after day, and letting time work in your favor. It's about being patient when results don't show up right away, and staying disciplined even when motivation fades. In this video, you'll discover why thinking financially and working consistently is the only path to lasting success. You'll learn how to make better decisions with your money, create habits that build wealth, and grow over time by sticking to a clear plan. This isn't about luck or magic. It's about smart choices and steady action. If you're ready to change your future and succeed in a way that lasts, watch carefully. The ideas here can help you take control and move forward with confidence every single day. Let's get started. Number 1, start thinking long-term, not just right now. Most people live their lives trying to just make it through the day. They wake up, handle what's in front of them, respond to problems, deal with stress, pay some bills, maybe relax a little if there's time, and then repeat. That becomes their routine. And without even realizing it, they wake up one day, years later, and wonder why nothing really changed. It's not because they're lazy. It's not because they don't care. It's because they were stuck thinking only about now. The moment you begin to think long-term, your entire direction changes. Long-term thinking isn't about ignoring today. It's about making today matter, because it's part of a bigger picture. When you start asking yourself where your actions today are leading you 5 or 10 years from now, you stop wasting time. You start caring more. You take things more seriously. People say, I'll start saving when I make more money, or I'll work on my goals when life calms down. But the truth is, life never slows down for anyone. There's always something happening, and waiting for the perfect time is just another way of putting off responsibility. If you don't take control now, time will pass anyway. The difference is whether you have something to show for it or not. Start thinking about your life like it's your responsibility, because it is. No one's coming to rescue you. No one's going to hand you a better life. You get one life, and the way it turns out depends on how you use your time and how you think. Short-term thinkers keep repeating the same patterns. Long-term thinkers build habits that create change. That's where wealth comes from. Not luck, not chance. Wealth comes from decisions made consistently over time. Thinking long-term means you stop asking, what feels good right now? And start asking, what's the right move for my future? Maybe that means cutting out some of your spending. Maybe it means waking up an hour earlier. Maybe it means turning off distractions and doing the work. It doesn't always feel good in the moment, but it pays off later. And that's what matters. When I was broke and embarrassed, I realized something very important. My current situation was the result of years of short-term thinking. I was spending everything I earned. I wasn't developing my mind. I was coasting, hoping things would just work out. But nothing works out without a plan. I had to stop blaming circumstances and start focusing on decisions, small decisions. Every single day, I started writing down what I wanted. I started paying attention to how I was spending my time. I stopped making excuses for being tired or busy or unmotivated. I told myself, if I don't change now, I'll still be here 10 years from now. Maybe worse. That thought alone was enough to scare me into action. The truth is, you don't need to know everything about money or business to get started. You don't need a college degree to think long-term. What you need is the willingness to stop living for today only and start asking yourself where you want to be. Do you want to have freedom, security, peace of mind? Then you have to start working in that direction now. Thinking long-term will change what you tolerate. You won't waste time arguing with people who don't matter. You won't waste energy proving yourself to others. You won't keep doing things that entertain you but leave you feeling empty. You'll start making better use of your time. You'll say no to things that distract you because you know what you're working toward. And it won't happen all at once. Some days will feel slow. Some days you'll wonder if it's even working. But long-term thinkers don't quit just because progress isn't obvious. They know that real change takes time. They know that a small effort, repeated, build something solid. They stay patient, but not passive. They stay calm, but they stay moving. The people who succeed in life are not the ones with the easiest path. They're the ones who stop waiting and start building. They have discipline. They stay focused, and they have a future in mind that's bigger than the moment they're in. They're willing to go without now so they can have more later. They understand the value of time, and they refuse to waste it. You've got to think about who you're becoming. Every day you're shaping that person. Every decision you make adds up, and you have to ask yourself, is this helping me or hurting me long term? That one question can guide your actions. That one question can wake you up when you're tempted to settle. That one question can keep you on track when life tries to pull you off course. It's not about being perfect. Nobody gets it right all the time, but it's about staying honest with yourself. If you mess up, adjust. If you fall behind, don't quit. Just get back to it. What matters is that you keep moving in the direction you said you wanted to go. Long-term thinking keeps you grounded. It gives you something bigger to work for. People ask, how do I stay motivated? You don't. You stay committed. Motivation comes and goes, but commitment, when you've got a clear vision for your future, that stays, that wakes you up in the morning, that keeps you disciplined when you don't feel like it. That's the difference between people who wish and people who win. Stop putting your energy into things that don't give you a return. Start using your time in a way that builds your future. Think about your health, your money, your skills, your mindset. What are you building? What are you ignoring? Are you making decisions that your future self will thank you for, or decisions they'll regret? Most people are afraid of long-term thinking because it requires patience, it requires discipline. But once you start, it actually gets easier. You start seeing progress. You feel more in control. You begin to trust yourself. And over time, you build something real, something no one can take away from you. There is no better feeling than looking back and knowing that you built something strong because you had the courage to think long-term. Not because you were the smartest or the fastest, but because you stayed focused and you stayed faithful to your vision. Start now. Start small, but start thinking about where your actions are leading you. If you keep your eyes only on today, you'll miss everything that's possible tomorrow. But if you lift your head and think ahead, you'll start living a life you're proud of. One decision at a time, one step at a time. Just keep going. Number 2, track where your money goes. Every month. Most people never get ahead financially. Not because they don't earn enough, but because they never stop to ask where their money is actually going. Month after month, they work, they earn, and then somehow it all disappears. Not because of bad luck, but because they're not paying attention. If you don't track your money, you'll always feel like it's running away from you. But once you start tracking it, you'll realize you're the one directing it, or letting it slip away. Awareness is powerful. When you start writing down every dollar that leaves your pocket, your mind starts to shift. You begin to see things clearly. You realize how much goes toward things that don't matter. Little purchases that seemed harmless begin to add up. You notice the habits that are silently draining your progress. This isn't about restriction. It's about taking back control. Every month, you're given a new chance to do something smarter with your money. But if you're not tracking where it's going, you'll repeat the same mistakes. You'll wonder why you're stressed when rent is due, or why you're behind on your savings, or why your goals keep getting delayed. Tracking isn't just about budgeting. It's about accountability. It's about being honest with yourself. Most people underestimate how much they spend. They tell themselves it's not that bad until they add it up and realize how quickly it all adds up. That coffee every morning, that subscription they don't even use, that takeout meal they didn't plan for. It doesn't feel like much in the moment, but over time it's the reason they can't invest. It's the reason they're still struggling. You can't improve what you don't measure. If you want to change your financial life, the first step is knowing exactly what's happening with your money. Not guessing, not hoping, knowing. That means sitting down at the end of each day or week and writing it out. Every purchase, every expense, every little thing. You'll be surprised how different it feels to see it on paper. When you track your money, you begin to spend differently. You stop wasting money on things that don't bring value. You start thinking twice before making a purchase. You start planning ahead. That's how habits begin to change. Not through guilt or shame, but through clarity. When you know where your money is going, you gain the power to decide if that's where you want it to go. Think of your money as a tool. If you don't know how you're using it, how can you expect to build anything? If you want to build wealth, if you want freedom, if you want peace of mind, you've got to start managing the small amounts well. People think wealth starts with earning more, but it starts with handling what you already have wisely. Some people avoid tracking because they're afraid of what they'll see, but that's the exact reason they need to start. The numbers don't lie. They don't care how you feel. They just tell the truth. And the truth gives you a starting point. Once you know where your money's going, you can make decisions that move you forward instead of keeping you stuck. This habit isn't about perfection. It's about attention. Maybe you overspent this month. That's okay. As long as you know exactly where and why, that knowledge helps you adjust next time. It's not about being perfect with your spending. It's about becoming more aware and more intentional. When I started tracking my money, everything changed. I realized how much of it was going toward temporary satisfaction, things I didn't even remember buying. I saw how easy it was to spend when I wasn't watching. But I also saw how easy it was to change when I started paying attention. Suddenly, I wasn't just reacting to my finances. I was directing them. The habit of tracking forces you to slow down. Instead of swiping a card without thinking, you start considering the impact of every transaction. You begin to ask, is this worth it? That question alone can save you thousands over time. And it builds something deeper than just savings. It builds discipline, and discipline over time creates results. You don't need an app. You don't need a fancy spreadsheet. A notebook will do. A simple system, just a way to stay honest with yourself. The goal isn't complexity, it's consistency. Tracking doesn't take long, a few minutes a day, but the impact it has on your awareness, your behavior, and your decisions is massive. As time goes on, you'll start seeing patterns. You'll notice where your money is going every month. You'll find areas where you can cut back without feeling deprived. You'll start setting goals with confidence because you know exactly what you're working with. That's how progress is made, not by chance, but by being clear and consistent. People don't fall into wealth by accident. They earn it, they build it, and they manage it. That process starts by respecting the money they have now, no matter how little it is. Tracking teaches you to respect your resources. It teaches you responsibility. And that responsibility leads to better decisions. Over time, this habit will grow into something bigger. You'll find it easier to save, easier to invest, easier to say no to things that don't matter. Because you'll be focused. You'll be in control. You won't be wondering where your money went. You'll be telling it where to go. If you've never tracked your spending before, today is the day to begin. No need to look back with regret. Just start from now. Make a simple list. Be consistent. You'll be amazed at how quickly you start to feel more confident, more capable, and more free. Not because your income increased, but because your awareness did. This one habit separates the people who keep struggling from the ones who grow. It's not about having more. It's about doing better with what you already have. And once you master this, everything else becomes easier. You start to believe in your ability to create change. Not someday, but right now. Because you're finally paying attention. Because you're finally taking control. Number 3, create a simple plan for your financial life. When people hear the word plan, many of them feel overwhelmed. They imagine something complicated, filled with charts and numbers, or strategies that only experts understand. But you don't need a degree in finance to take control of your money. What you need is a simple, personal, and clear plan, one that fits your life, your goals, and your current reality. Simplicity is what makes a plan work. If it's too hard to follow, you won't follow it. If it's too complicated to understand, it won't stay consistent. The goal is clarity. If you can write it down on a single piece of paper and follow it, that's enough to begin. A financial plan doesn't start with big goals. It starts with an honest assessment of where you are now. How much do you earn? How much do you spend? What are your fixed responsibilities? What are the habits that are hurting your progress? You need to look at all of it without sugarcoating. Not to feel bad, not to judge yourself, but to get real about where you stand. Because a plan that isn't based on truth can't take you anywhere. Once you know where you are, the next question is, where do you want to go? What do you want to build? Maybe it's getting out of debt. Maybe it's saving for a home. Maybe it's having emergency funds so you can sleep better at night. Your goals should be personal, not copied from someone else. And they should be realistic. Don't write a fantasy. Write a target that motivates you and pushes you forward, but doesn't discourage you. Something you can break down into monthly action. Now that you know where you are and where you want to go, it's time to bridge the gap. That's where the plan comes in. The most important part of any financial plan is consistency. A complicated plan that you follow for a week won't help you. A simple plan that you follow every day will change your life. That's why you should design a plan that fits into your routine. Something you can review once a week. Something you can adjust when life changes. Your plan should start with your income. List it clearly. Whether you have one source or multiple, know what's coming in. Then move to your fixed expenses. Things that must be paid every month. Rent, bills, food, transportation. These are the basics. Once those are covered, look at what's left. That's the space where progress happens. That's the part you direct toward your goals. Set percentages for your goals. For example, 10% toward savings, 10% toward debt repayment, 5% toward learning or investing in yourself. The numbers don't have to be perfect. They just need to be clear. You should be able to see on paper where every part of your income is going. When your money has a job, it doesn't get wasted. It doesn't drift. It builds. Your plan should also include systems to help you stay disciplined. Maybe it's automatic transfers to save. Maybe it's cash envelopes for specific categories. Maybe it's a checklist you review every Friday. Systems don't have to be high-tech. They just have to be reliable. They remove emotion from the process and keep you on track, even when motivation fades. A good plan also prepares for surprises. Life is unpredictable. Things break. People get sick. Expenses come out of nowhere. Your plan should include an emergency fund. Even if it starts small, just knowing you have a cushion makes it easier to stick to your bigger goals. It reduces panic. It protects your progress. Another part of a simple plan is reviewing it regularly. Once a week, sit down and go over it. Look at your spending. Look at your savings. Look at how closely you're sticking to your goals. If something needs to change, adjust it. The plan is there to guide you, not to trap you. It should grow with you. It should help you make better choices, not feel like a punishment. As you follow your plan, you'll start to feel something shift. You'll feel more in control. You'll feel more confident. You won't be guessing or hoping anymore. You'll be direct. Every dollar will have a purpose. Every action will be tied to a result. And even if your income stays the same for a while, your mindset won't. You'll stop reacting and start creating. That's the power of a plan. Some people resist planning because they're afraid to face reality. But nothing gets better by avoiding it. When you avoid planning, you stay stuck. When you plan, you give yourself a way out. You give yourself structure. You give yourself hope, backed by action. A plan is a promise you make to your future self. Not a perfect one, but a committed one. Your plan doesn't need to impress anyone. It doesn't need to be shared or posted online. It just needs to work for you. It needs to be something you believe in and something you follow. If it helps you save $50 a month, that's progress. If it helps you avoid debt, that's protection. If it helps you sleep better, that's worth it. Every successful person I've ever met had a plan. Not always a big one, but always a clear one. They knew what they wanted, and they took steps every month to get closer to it. They didn't hope for wealth. They built it piece by piece. They didn't rely on willpower alone. They created habits and systems, and it all started with a simple decision to take control. Creating a plan for your financial life is one of the most empowering things you can do. It means you're no longer living by chance. You're living by choice. You're no longer wondering if things will work out. You're making sure they do. And even if you face setbacks, and you will, you won't be lost. You'll have a path to get back on. Every month that passes without a plan is a month of missed potential. But every month with a plan is a step forward. It's a sign that you care about your future, that you're serious about your goals, that you're ready to live with intention, not impulse. It all starts with one page, one goal, one honest look at your life. Write it down, review it often, stick to it, adjust when needed, and stay consistent. That's how your financial life starts to move in the right direction. One clear plan, followed every day. Number 4, build skills that people are willing to pay for. The marketplace doesn't respond to wishes. It doesn't reward hopes, and it doesn't hand out money for good intentions. The marketplace rewards value. If you want to earn more, grow more, or rise higher in life, you've got to become more valuable. And how do you do that? You build skills, not random ones. Not the ones that just sound impressive. You build the kind of skills that people are actively looking for, that solve real problems, that make people's lives easier or businesses more successful. The first step is to stop waiting for someone to come teach you. You don't have to sit around hoping for the perfect opportunity or the right person to guide you. We live in a time where information is everywhere. If you're willing to search, to read, to practice, you can learn almost anything. And when you learn something useful, something people struggle with or don't have time to do, they'll pay you for it. That's how the world works. Start by observing. What are the problems that people around you keep running into? What are the skills that employers keep listing in job posting? What are businesses hiring freelancers to handle? That's where your answer is. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. You just need to look for what already exists and ask yourself, can I learn that? Can I become good enough to offer real help in that area? Most of the time, the answer is yes. Once you've identified a skill worth learning, the next part is giving it your full attention. Not half-hearted effort. Not doing it once a week when you're bored. Every valuable skill takes time, focus, and repetition. You've got to dive deep, make mistakes, and keep adjusting. You're not just learning the basics, you're mastering the craft. You're developing something that separates you from the average person who only knows a little and gives up when it gets tough. Skills that make money are built in quiet moments, when no one's watching, when it feels tedious, when you're tempted to quit. But if you stay consistent, the results will speak for themselves. That's how you go from being ignored to being in demand. Not by being loud, but by becoming excellent. When you become excellent at something that matters to others, you'll never have to beg for opportunities. Don't chase what's trendy just for the sake of it. Choose a skill that has long-term value. Communication, writing, sales, marketing, design, programming, repair, leadership, coaching, teaching, strategy. People will always need others who can do these well. Once you've built that skill, no one can take it from you. It travels with you wherever you go. It becomes part of your identity, part of your toolkit for success. Building a skill doesn't require talent. It requires decision. The decision to commit. The decision to learn even when you feel tired. The decision to push through confusion until things begin to make sense. And once they do, your confidence grows. Your ability grows, and suddenly what once looked impossible becomes normal. Most people spend years working hard at jobs that don't develop them. They give their energy to routines that leave them the same at the end of each year. That's not growth, that's survival. And survival is not enough if you want to thrive. If you want a better financial life, you need to upgrade your value. You need to wake up each day and ask, what am I building today that someone would gladly pay me for tomorrow? Don't wait for motivation to carry you. Build a habit instead. Set aside 1 hour each day to practice, learn, and apply. Whether it's online learning, reading, or hands-on work, make that hour non-negotiable. You'll be surprised what happens after 6 months of steady improvement. You'll know more, you'll do better, and you'll learn differently. And remember, it's not enough to know something. You've got to be able to use it. Knowledge is good, but skill is applied knowledge. It's knowing how to take information and turn it into a result. That's what people pay for. Not theory, but when you can help someone make more money, save time, or reduce stress, they'll see your value, and they'll be glad to exchange their money for it. You also have to be willing to show your work. Build a portfolio. Share your progress. Offer to help a few people for free in the beginning, just to practice and prove what you can do. Get feedback. Get better. Build a reputation. That's how skill turns into opportunity. The more people who know what you're capable of, the more chances you get to use it. It's also important to keep evolving. A skill is never finished. The world changes. Technology improves. Needs shift. You must stay curious. Stay updated. The moment you stop growing is the moment your value begins to fade. Keep learning. Keep testing. Keep sharpening. That's how you stay ahead. You don't need 10 skills. You need one that you do very well. One that people trust you with. One that creates results. And from there, you build more. But start with one. Start where you are. Choose something useful. And start practicing daily. There's no secret. There's no shortcut. There's only the path of repetition, reflection, and refinement. If you want to be financially independent, if you want to stop living paycheck to paycheck, then this is the way forward. Your skill is your leverage. It's what sets you apart. It's what creates freedom. And the best part, you control it. No one else decides how skilled you become. That's up to you. Keep your learning simple. Don't try to master everything at once. Choose one area. Stick with it. Measure your progress and adjust as you go. Read, watch, try, fail, correct, and repeat. Each cycle makes you stronger. Each mistake becomes part of your foundation. And over time, the skill you build becomes something rare, something people search for. This is the time to invest in yourself, not by buying things, but by building things inside your mind and hands. Skills that solve problems, skills that earn trust, skills that people respect. That's how you grow. That's how you rise. That's how you win. Number 5. Show up every day, even when you don't feel like it. Discipline doesn't ask how you feel. It asks what you promised yourself. And most of the time, success belongs to the people who keep showing up, especially when they don't feel like it. It's easy to be consistent when you're excited, when you're fresh, when everything feels new. But that's not the test. The real test comes on the days when your energy is low, when no one is clapping for you, when the progress feels slow. That's when you separate the committed from the casual. If you want to build something that lasts, whether it's wealth, health, relationships, or personal growth, you need to be there. Not just physically. You've got to be mentally present, emotionally invested, and fully responsible. That means waking up and doing the work, even when your mood says otherwise. It means not depending on motivation to move, because motivation comes and goes, but your habits, they stay. Your routine, that's your foundation. Every day you skip chips away at your momentum. One missed day may seem small, but it's never just one. It becomes 2, then 3, and soon you lose the rhythm that kept you going. On the other hand, when you push through those days you want to quit, you build something stronger than motivation. You build grit. You prove to yourself that your word matters, that you don't give in to short-term comfort at the cost of long-term rewards. There will be days when your body feels heavy, when your mind is scattered, when the work feels dull. That's natural. That's part of the journey. But showing up doesn't always mean performing at 100. Sometimes it just means being there, moving forward even if it's 1 inch at a time. Progress is progress, no matter the pace. If you wait to feel perfect, you'll wait forever. If you act despite discomfort, you grow faster. You're not supposed to enjoy every part of the journey. That's not realistic. There will be resistance. There will be delays. There will be voices inside you whispering excuses. But the stronger voice, the one you must listen to, is the voice of your goal. The voice that says, "You said you'd do this. Keep going." That's the voice that shapes your future. The people you admire, the ones who've built something valuable, they didn't get there by skipping the hard days. They got there by walking through the boredom, the setbacks, the fatigue. They learned to keep their word even when no one was watching. That's where character is forged. In silence, in effort, in the unseen. Think about your future self. Think about what they need from you right now. They don't need you to be perfect. They need you to be consistent every single day that you show up. Even when your mind says no, you give your future a gift. You stack one brick on top of another. You build a life that you can trust, and that trust in yourself is one of the most powerful things you'll ever own. You'll never feel motivated all the time. That's the truth. But discipline gives you something better. It gives you control. It gives you direction. It gives you progress. Discipline is what carries you on the days when emotion fails you. And here's the secret. When you start taking action, the feelings often follow. The energy comes back. The focus returns. But it only shows up after you start, never before. You don't need to climb a mountain today. Just take one step. That step leads to the next. And those steps add up. Over time, the effort compounds, not just in what you get done, but in who you become. You get someone who doesn't back down, someone who shows up, someone others can rely on, and more importantly, someone you can rely on. This is how confidence is built, not by shouting affirmations in the mirror, but by proving to yourself that you can follow through, that you're not ruled by your moods, that when you say I will, you mean it. Confidence comes from action, from repetition, from walking through the fire, not running from it. You also teach others how to treat you based on how you treat your own commitment. If you give up easily, if you don't show up for yourself, why would others take you seriously? But when you're dependable with your own goals, people feel it, they see it, and opportunities begin to align. There will be days when you're misunderstood, when your progress feels invisible, when your work doesn't pay off right away. Keep showing up. These are the days that test your hunger. These are the days that mold you. You're not just building a career or wealth or success. You're building the person who can handle those things when they come. The world responds to consistency. People trust those who keep showing up. That kind of reliability is rare, and anything rare becomes valuable. So be that person. Be the one who shows up when it's hard. Be the one who does the work when it's not fun. Be the one who keeps their promise to themselves, even in silence. Every day you show up, you take another step toward your future. It may not look exciting. It may not go viral, but it matters. It builds, it compounds. And before you know it, you've created something solid, something you can stand on, grow from, and rely on when life gets shaky. It starts now, not tomorrow, not when you feel better. Now, today, this moment. You're not doing it for a quick reward. You're doing it because the person you're becoming deserves nothing less. Keep moving, keep working, keep showing up, especially on the days when it's hardest. That's where the breakthrough breathes. That's where real success begins to take shape. Number 6, stay away from shortcuts and easy money. You must understand something early in your journey. If it sounds too easy, too fast, too good, it usually is. Real wealth, lasting success, doesn't come from tricks or schemes. It comes from real work, real discipline, real learning, and real time. Well, it's tempting to fall for shortcuts, especially when you're tired, when you feel behind, when you're watching other people flash success you haven't reached yet. But chasing shortcuts is how people end up stuck, frustrated, or worse, broke, and starting over. You can't build something solid by skipping steps. Life rewards preparation. It rewards responsibility. The idea that you can press a button, flip a coin, or join a trend, and suddenly become rich. It's not just false, it's dangerous. Because every minute you spend chasing shortcuts is a minute you're not investing in something real. You're not building a skill. You're not earning trust. You're not gaining experience. You're just gambling. And most gamblers lose far more than they win. The people who try to get rich quick often end up losing slow. They burn time chasing results without effort. And they miss the deeper truth that the journey is what prepares you to handle success when it comes. If someone handed you everything you ever wanted tomorrow without the work, without the habits, without the patience, you wouldn't keep it. You'd drop it because you wouldn't be ready for the weight of it. The shortcuts promise freedom, but what they really deliver is instability. If you didn't earn it, you can't protect it. If you don't know how you got it, you won't know how to fix it when it breaks. Think of the mindset behind quick money. It's based in urgency, in desperation, in escape. But wealth isn't something you escape into. It's something you build with clarity, one step at a time. Don't measure success by how fast you get it. Measure it by how solid it is, by how well it can survive setbacks, by whether you can sleep at night knowing what you've built is clean, honest, and earned. The world is full of offers that promise results without effort. Get-rich-quick schemes, trading scams, shady deals. Walk away. These things aren't just financially risky. They take something from your character. They train your brain to avoid responsibility, and nothing damages your future more than making decisions from a place of desperation. You want to create something lasting? Then be willing to earn it slow. Be willing to show up day after day with no applause. Be willing to build brick by brick. And when you finally get it, you'll know this is real. This is mine. I didn't take it. I built it. You can't shortcut experience. You can't shortcut wisdom. You can't shortcut credibility. All those things take time, but they pay you for life. People will try to distract you. They'll wave flashy rewards in front of you, and they'll tell you hard work is outdated. Don't believe them. Those shortcuts come with hidden costs. Your peace, your reputation, your integrity. Easy money is never really easy. It's just quiet on the front end and loud on the back. By the time you hear the real price, it's too late. You need to stay committed to the long game. That means saying no when it's hard. It means turning down money that goes against your value. It means building your wealth with principles, not pressure. That's the kind of wealth that frees you, not traps you. That's the kind that can grow, not just once, but over and over again. And here's the key. It's not just about what you earn. It's about who you become along the way. When you avoid shortcuts, you force yourself to face the process. You become someone who can delay pleasure. You learn to see long term. You develop resilience, patience, and decision-making strength. And those traits, they're more valuable than any temporary cash because they stay with you. They protect you. They guide you in good seasons and in bad. The temptation to take shortcuts will never fully go away, but every time you resist it, you reinforce your foundation. Every time you choose the harder but cleaner path, you grow stronger. You become someone who's not just chasing money. You're building capacity, and capacity is what allows you to handle more pressure, more success, more responsibility without breaking. You want money to work for you, not control you. You want to be the one who decides, not the one who's always reacting. That kind of freedom doesn't come from chasing quick results. It comes from building something over time that can't be shaken easily. It comes from self-respect, knowing you didn't cheat your way there, knowing your success is built on truth, not tricks. Look around. Most of the people who win big and keep it, they have history behind them. Years of grinding, of staying the course, of building trust. They weren't trying to jump the line. They were focused on getting better, learning more, earning a reputation that money couldn't buy. That's what you want. You want to be trusted. You want to be known for being solid, reliable, and real. Don't envy people who flash overnight success. You don't know what's real and what's borrowed. Most of the time, what looks easy costs someone something you didn't see, or it's a highlight reel hiding chaos. You don't want that. You want a life you can be proud of, a story you can tell without shame, a path you can look back on and say, I earned every inch of this. Be okay with going slow. Be okay with small wins that stack over time. Be okay with not being flashy. The loudest people aren't always the wealthiest, and the wealthiest people aren't always the loudest. Sometimes the real builders are quiet, consistent, and focused. They're not chasing noise. They're building value. Choose the long game. Choose the route with depth. Choose growth that sticks. Stay away from shortcuts. Say no to easy money. You're not in this to impress. You're in this to improve. You're in this to last. Number 7, learn to live below your means with pride. There's a quiet strength in living with less than you earn. Not less because you have to, but less because you choose. Maturity. It shows you have a plan. It means you're not chasing approval. It means you've taken control of your money instead of letting it control you. People think wealth is about what you show, but real wealth is about what you keep, what you grow, and what you protect. And that starts with learning how to live below your means. It's easy to fall into the trap of trying to look successful. You see your friends buying new things, posting pictures of fancy dinners, driving expensive cars. But that kind of thinking keeps people stuck. When you spend to impress, you're giving away your freedom. When you live above your means, you're borrowing from your future to pay for your present. And eventually the bill comes due. Pride doesn't come from things. It comes from self-respect. It comes from knowing you're in control of your choices. When you live below your means, you're telling the world, I don't need approval to feel secure. You're building a foundation for freedom, not just a facade for attention. It's easy to spend everything you make. Anyone can do that. But discipline is what sets people apart. The ability to say no, not now, even when you could say yes. That's where real growth begins. Some people think living below your means is a punishment. They think it's about lack, but it's not. It's about strategy. It's about keeping margin in your life. Margin for emergency, margin for opportunities, margin for peace of mind. When you're not stretched thin, you make better decisions. You sleep better at night. You don't panic when things go wrong, and they will go wrong sometimes. That's life. But if you've planned ahead, if you've built a buffer, you're ready. One of the smartest things you can do is make less look good. Not flashy, not fake. Just honest. A clean apartment. A used car that runs well. A phone that works. Even if it's not the newest. If it gets the job done, that's all that matters. You don't need to upgrade just because someone else did. You don't need to chase every trend. You need to chase stability. You need to chase growth. Living below your means gives you options. It gives you breathing room. It gives you the chance to invest in things that matter. Like your education, your family, your business. It gives you space to make long-term choices instead of short-term reactions. And when you do that consistently, you start to build real wealth, not just in your bank account, but in your habits, in your mindset, in your discipline. Wealthy people don't always look wealthy, and people who look wealthy often aren't. Don't get confused by the image. Look at the actions. Look at the consistency. Look at the way people manage their decisions. The quiet saver is often in a stronger position than the loud spender. You don't need to tell everyone you're doing well. Just do well. Let your results speak. The pressure to spend is real. I understand that. It comes from all sides. Social media, friends, even family. But you've got to decide whose future matters most. Yours. And that means building a life that isn't based on other people's expectations. If they laugh because you're careful with money, let them. If they don't understand why you won't go into debt for a vacation, let them wonder. You know why you're doing it. You're planning ahead. You're choosing freedom over flash. Living below your means is how you gain leverage. It's how you stay ready. It's how you put yourself in a position to say yes to the right things at the right time. You don't need a raise to start saving. You don't need more money to start spending less. You need a decision to prioritize your future over your impulse. A decision to stop trying to match lifestyles and start matching values. Every dollar you don't spend is a vote for your future. It's a seed plant. It's a chance to invest, to prepare, to grow. And it adds up faster than you think. It's not just the big checks that change your life. It's the small decisions made over and over again. That's how you build confidence. That's how you build wealth. That's how you build a life you don't have to escape from. You don't need to explain your choices to anyone. If you want to skip the fancy dinner to cook at home, do it. If you want to wait a few more years before upgrading your car, that's your decision. If you want to wear the same clothes while stacking your savings, that's smart. Don't apologize for being responsible. Don't shrink yourself to make others comfortable. Stand tall in your discipline. Living below your means doesn't mean living without joy. It means you choose your joy more carefully. It means you enjoy the things that last. The peace of mind. The freedom to choose. The satisfaction of knowing you're building something. You learn to enjoy the simple things. A walk with someone you love. A book that stretches your thinking. A quiet moment where you realize you're not stressed about bills. That's wealth too. You can feel proud when you pay with cash. You can feel proud when you save a portion of your income each month. You can feel proud when you choose to fix instead of replace. That pride is earned. It's the kind that sticks with you, not the kind that fades after the receipt. And that kind of pride, that self-control, that long-term thinking, it shows up in every part of your life. You start making better choices with your time. You stop chasing the next thing and start improving what you already have. You find contentment in progress, not just possession. You realize you don't need to look rich to become rich. You need to think ahead. You need to make disciplined decisions. You need to build your foundation strong. It takes strength to go against the crowd, but that's what leaders do. They think different. They act different. They live different. They don't let outside pressure break their inside plan. And that's what you're doing. Building your inside plan. Day by day, month by month, brick by brick. You're not behind. You're focused. You're not cheap. You're smart. You're not missing out. You're stepping up. Learn to live below your means with pride. And you'll never be controlled by money. You'll control it. And when you do that, the options in your life will multiply. Not overnight, but over time. In ways you'll be thankful for. Because you made the choice early on to value your future more than your image. That's where the real wealth begins. Number 8. Use time as your greatest advantage. Time is one of the few things you can't buy back. Once it passes, it's gone. That's why using time wisely is one of the smartest decisions you'll ever make in your entire financial life. When you're young, it feels like you have all the time in the world. And when you're older, you suddenly realize how fast it goes. That's the trap. Most people wait too long to value it. But if you learn to respect time early on, and you use it with purpose, it becomes your greatest tool. The earlier you start thinking long-term, the more choices you create for yourself later. It doesn't take huge money to build wealth. It takes consistency over time. That's the secret. And most people miss it. They think success comes in one big move. But it's not one big move. It's daily actions carried out for years. One smart decision after another stacked over time. That's what leads to financial strength. When you invest early, whether it's money, learning, relationships, or your health, you give those things room to grow. Time multiplies everything you do. If you waste it, you lose the benefit of that growth. But if you treat it as valuable, you start to see how much it can do for you. It's not about being perfect every day. It's about being intentional every day. Even small habits compound when you repeat them long enough. There's a rhythm to life. And time rewards people who learn to move with it. You don't need to rush. You need to start. You don't need to be the fastest. You need to be the most consistent. You don't need to catch up to anyone. You need to stay focused on your own pace. Time doesn't care about talent as much as it cares about effort. The one who stays in the race ends up ahead of the one who gave up after a few sprints. Think about this. Every single day you get is a deposit. How you use it is your choice. Most people spend their time like it's endless. They scroll, they drift, they make excuses, and the days go by. But those who win treat time like it's their greatest currency. They track it, they plan it. They don't waste it on things that don't build them. They say no more often because they've said yes to their future. If you're in your 20s, you have a huge head start. Don't throw it away chasing things that disappear quickly. Build something that will still be standing when you're 50. If you're in your 40s or 50s, it's not too late. Time may be shorter, but your focus can be sharper. You've seen enough to know what matters. Now act on it. Cut out the distractions and make use of what you have left. Because even 10 focused years can do more than 30 distracted ones. Time is the great equalizer. You and the wealthiest person in the world both get 24 hours in a day. The difference is in how you use them. That's why planning matters. That's why routines matter. That's why setting priorities matters. If you wake up each day with no direction, don't be surprised when the day slips through your hand. But if you give the day a purpose, time becomes your ally, not your enemy. When it comes to money, time can be your best friend. The longer your money sits in a smart place, the more it can work for you. That's how people grow their wealth. Even if they don't earn the most. They start early, they stay consistent, and they let time do the heavy lifting. Waiting to start is one of the biggest mistakes people make. They tell themselves they'll do it next month, next year. But that delay comes with a cost you don't see right away, but feel later. Your energy, your focus, your ambition, they're all strongest when you're intentional with time. Every hour has the potential to move you forward or hold you back. Spend 1 hour learning a skill, and that knowledge builds. Spend 1 hour wasting time, and that's a block of your life you'll never get back. The difference between winning and staying stuck often comes down to how seriously you treat time. Use time to build instead of react. Use it to improve instead of escape. Use it to invest instead of improve. You don't need to do everything today, but you do need to do something today, and then again tomorrow. That's how momentum is built, day after day, not through giant leaps, but steady steps. When you look back years later, you'll be amazed at how far you've come. Not because you were lucky, but because you respected the time you were given. Start measuring your days by what you accomplish, not by how busy you feel. Busy doesn't always mean productive. A lot of people are busy doing the wrong things, and they wonder why nothing changes. You want to be effective. You want to be moving in the right direction. Even if it's slow, even if it's not exciting, as long as it's forward, you're winning. The truth is, time gives you options. If you use it right, if you plan for your future now, you don't have to panic later. If you save now, you don't have to struggle when something breaks. If you learn now, you won't be left behind when the world changes. Time allows you to prepare, and preparation is the key to freedom. Most people want quick results, but anything worth building takes time. Strong character, stable finances, real relationships. None of these come fast. They take attention, patience, and repetition. If you can learn to value time instead of rushing through it, you'll start making decisions that last. You'll stop needing shortcuts. You'll stop jumping from one thing to the next. You'll trust the process because you understand that time is working with you, not against you. There's something powerful about knowing you've done what you needed to do. Even if no one else sees it yet, time will reveal the results. Time will expose who's been doing the work. Time will bring the rewards, but only to those who stayed committed, to those who didn't give up because it was taking too long, to those who understood that lasting success isn't built in a weekend. It's built over a lifetime of steady focus. Don't wait for perfect conditions. Start where you are. Start with what you have, but start now, because every moment you delay, the gap widens. Not because you're not capable, but because time doesn't wait. And the longer you hesitate, the harder it becomes to catch up. But if you move now, if you stay consistent, if you build something each day, then time becomes your greatest advantage. Not just a passing number on the clock, but a powerful force working in your favor. Number 9, surround yourself with people who think big. Who you spend time with has a real impact on how you think, what you believe is possible, and the level of success you allow yourself to chase. If the people around you are always doubting, always complaining, always playing it safe, sooner or later, that thinking will start to influence you. Even if you have big dreams, they can get smaller if no one around you believes in going higher. That's why it matters who you let into your inner circle. If you want to grow, you need to be around people who are also growing. If you want to win, you need to be around winners. Not just people who talk, but people who act. You see, thinking big isn't just about chasing money or success. It's about mindset. It's about believing that things can be better. It's about setting standards, not just goals. When you surround yourself with people who think big, you're constantly exposed to new ideas. You start hearing conversations about solutions instead of problems. You hear about possibilities instead of limits. That changes how you look at your own life. It pushes you to stretch, to ask more of yourself, to not settle. A lot of people are stuck because everyone around them is stuck. Their friends aren't trying to improve. Their family might not understand ambition. Their coworkers are more focused on Friday than on the future. And when you're around that energy all the time, it drains you. It makes you second guess your drive. It makes you question why you're working so hard. That's why you have to protect your space. You have to be intentional about the energy you allow around you. You owe that to your future. Start paying attention to how you feel after spending time with people. Do they inspire you or drain you? Do they challenge you or keep you small? Do they support your growth or get uncomfortable when you talk about goals? The truth is, not everyone is meant to go where you're going. Some people are fine staying where they are, and that's their choice. But you have a choice too. You can choose to spend more time around those who lift you, those who expand your vision, those who remind you that the world is bigger than what you've seen so far. Thinking big doesn't mean being unrealistic. It means refusing to live inside limitations that were handed to you. When you're around people who think big, they don't laugh at your ideas. They don't tell you to lower your voice or tone down your ambition. They say, why not? They say, let's figure it out. They ask, what's next? That kind of support matters. It gives you strength when you're tired. It gives you courage when you're unsure. It gives you focus when the path isn't clear. You don't have to cut everyone off, but you do have to create space for better influence. You can love people and still not let them speak into your future. You can care about someone and still recognize that they're not helping you move forward. Growth means being honest about who's helping and who's holding you back. It's not about judgment. It's about direction. If you're serious about building something meaningful with your life, your environment needs to support that. Start looking for people who are ahead of you. Not to compete, but to learn. Look for those who've already walked the road you're trying to walk. Talk less around them. Listen more. Ask questions. Watch how they handle challenges. Observe how they use their time. See how they manage their energy. You'll learn more in 1 hour with a sharp mind than in years around the wrong crowd. And don't wait for the perfect group to show up. Start with what you can control. Read books written by big thinkers. Watch interviews from people who built something from the ground up. Join communities, even online, where people are working towards something better. Fill your mind with the thoughts of those who've gone beyond average. Let their discipline, their creativity, and their persistence rub off on you. There's a shift that happens when you stop surrounding yourself with people who only talk about others and start spending time with people who talk about goals, strategy, personal growth, and result. Your language changes. Your focus sharpens. You stop needing validation because your environment confirms that you're on the right track. Big thinkers also don't fear failure the way most people do. They see it as part of the process. They expect it. They grow from it. Being around that kind of mindset makes you less afraid of trying. It makes you more willing to step out of your comfort zone. Because you realize failure doesn't mean the end. It just means you're learning. You're getting closer. You're doing the work. And when you start thinking big yourself, you'll attract others who think the same way. People are drawn to energy that's focused, clear, and committed. As you elevate, your circle will naturally shift. Some people will distance themselves, and that's okay. Don't chase approval. Chase growth. Chase purpose. Chase the people who inspire you to level up, not those who guilt you into staying the same. Choosing your circle isn't just a personal decision. It's a financial decision, a health decision, a future decision. The right people will push you to save more, invest, move intentionally, and think years ahead. The wrong people will convince you that today's pleasure is more important than tomorrow's freedom. One path builds, the other destroys. Pick wisely. When you find those who think big, hold hodo. Respect their time. Be a contributor, not just a taker. Add value. Bring something to the table. Ask how you can help. That's how relationships grow. That's how you build trust. That's how you become the kind of person others want to grow with. Surrounding yourself with people who think big is one of the most strategic moves you'll ever make. It's not about impressing anyone. It's about aligning your daily environment with your long-term vision. It's about making sure the voices you hear most often are voices that remind you who you're becoming, not who you used to be. When your circle challenges you, supports you, and stretches your limits, you don't just change, you evolve. And that's when everything starts to move in the right direction. Number 10. Be patient, stay disciplined, and keep growing. Success is not a moment. It is not a sudden jump or a quick fix. It is a process that requires patience. When you start working towards something big, it takes time before results show up. It's easy to get frustrated when progress seems slow or when obstacles come your way. But patience is what separates those who eventually reach their goals from those who give up early. Patience means understanding that growth is a step-by-step journey. You plant seeds today that may not bloom for months or years. That waiting period is where most people lose hope. But those who stay patient know that every small effort adds up, even if they can't see it immediately. Staying disciplined is another key part of the journey. Discipline is the choice to do what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. It's not about motivation alone, because motivation comes and goes. Some days you will feel fired up, and others you will feel tired or distracted. Discipline keeps you moving forward regardless of your mood. It's about creating habits that align with your goals and then sticking with those habits every day. Discipline is not easy. It demands sacrifices. It means saying no to distractions, to short-term pleasure, to things that pull you away from what matters most. But discipline is the power that turns good intentions into real results. As you stay patient and disciplined, growth must continue. Growing is more than just working hard. It's about improving your skills, expanding your knowledge, and sharpening your mindset. The world is constantly changing. New opportunities and challenges will appear. Those who keep growing adapt and evolve. They seek out new information, new ideas, and new ways to improve. Growth requires humility, because it means admitting you don't know everything. It means being willing to learn from mistakes and feedback. The moment you stop growing, you start falling behind. Patient people understand that success is a marathon, not a sprint. They don't expect instant riches or quick recognition. Instead, they focus on daily progress. Every small win, every lesson learned, every task completed moves them closer to their goals. Patience is the ability to trust the process. It builds resilience. When things get tough, patience gives you the strength to hold on, keep going, and believe that the results will come if you don't quit. Discipline creates consistency. Without it, even the best bets and dreams remain just ideas. Discipline is what turns those ideas into habits. Habits turn into routines. Routines shape your life. Imagine what can happen if you consistently make smart decisions day after day, month after month. That kind of steady effort shapes your future in powerful ways. Discipline also means managing your time well. It means prioritizing tasks that matter and eliminating time wasters. It means sticking to a schedule, even when you'd rather do something easy. Growth means constantly pushing yourself beyond comfort. It means not settling for what you already know. It means reading books, attending seminars, talking to mentors, and exposing yourself to new perspectives. It also means reflecting regularly on what's working and what's not. Growth requires effort and curiosity. It requires you to face your weaknesses and work on them. The stronger you get, the more challenges you can handle. The more challenges you face, the faster you grow. It's easy to get discouraged when progress feels slow. When your efforts don't seem to pay off immediately, patience is what keeps you grounded. It's what reminds you that setbacks and delays are part of the process, not signs to stop. Staying disciplined during those times is critical. Discipline keeps you showing up, keeps you putting in the work, even when results are not visible. When patience and discipline work together, they create a powerful momentum that eventually leads to breakthrough. Growth keeps you focused on the future, not just the present. It turns mistakes into lessons. It helps you improve your approach. Growth prevents you from becoming stuck in old habits or limiting beliefs. It opens doors to new opportunities. It strengthens your confidence because you know you are getting better every day. The more you grow, the more your mindset shifts from doubt to belief, from fear to courage. In this journey, it's important to remember that nobody else can rush your progress. You can't force success to happen faster. You can't skip important steps and expect lasting results. Real success builds slowly. It requires commitment to long-term effort. Being patient means giving yourself grace to develop at your own pace. Being disciplined means showing respect to your goals by working on them daily. And growing means embracing every part of the journey. Good days and bad days alike. Every successful person has had to face moments of doubt. They've had to push through discouragement and uncertainty. Patience gave them the ability to wait. Discipline gave them the strength to act. Growth gave them the tools to improve. That combination is what creates lasting success. It's not luck or chance. It's steady, focused work over time. You might not see the full picture today. You might wonder if the effort is worth it. But the reality is that your actions right now are creating your future. Patience protects you from giving up too soon. Discipline keeps you consistent through ups and downs. Growth makes sure you keep moving in the right direction, Together, they form a foundation that cannot be shaken. Trust that each step forward counts. Trust that slow progress is still progress. Trust that your persistence will pay off. Keep showing up. Keep doing the work. Keep learning and adapting. The path to wealth and success is not a race to the finish line, but a commitment to becoming better every day. Every moment spent building your discipline, exercising patience, and growing your skills adds value to your life. Patience is your friend when things don't happen quickly. Discipline is your ally when distractions try to pull you away. Growth is your guide when you feel stuck or unsure. These three forces working together will carry you through challenges and onto opportunities. They prepare you for success that lasts because it is built on solid ground. Staying patient, disciplined, and committed to growth creates a powerful cycle. As you row, you gain more patience and better discipline. As you practice discipline, you build confidence to keep growing. As you stay patient, you avoid mistakes caused by rushing. This cycle keeps you steady. It keeps you strong. It keeps you moving forward, no matter what. Nothing valuable happens overnight. Real wealth, real success, real progress require time. The people who achieve it are the ones who learn to be patient, who stick with discipline, and who never stop growing. Those are the people who finish the race and stand strong when others have fallen away. Your job is to be one of them. Keep pushing forward without giving up. Keep building habits that support your goals. Keep learning every day. That is the way to lasting success.